Thank you.
Can I seek leave to make a brief contribution?
Is leave granted?
It is. Yes.
Leave is granted. Member for Balmain.
Thank you very much, Madam Temporary Speaker, and thank you to the Whip for allowing me to make a contribution today. I am in very strong support of the motion which has been proposed, that this House calls on the government not to allow any further privatisation of public utilities without a referendum being conducted. The issue to me and the issue to we Greens is one of philosophy, and it's very clear that the neoliberal agenda to support privatisation, which undermines jobs, it undermines the environment and undermines service provision, is and was the Labor agenda, and it is also the coalition agenda. And unfortunately, both parties, with the exception of many in the National Party, both parties have taken on this neoliberal agenda. And this agenda is one that is undermining our community. And we know that the Labor Party did not cover itself in glory, during the privatisation debate. We saw lotteries privatised. We saw waste services privatised. We had the electricity privatisation debacle. It's clear that while we've heard some fiery talk here from Labor, during their rebuilding period they need to rebuild and listen to the majority, as this motion points out, which is, if there was a referendum, we know that privatisation would fail and fail miserably. And the reason why the coalition has not supported the privatisation of wires and poles is not because of some philosophical view, but because they know there was an enormous campaign in the community, led by Unions New South Wales, members of the USU, energy workers in particular, which said that we oppose this privatisation. And there was a very courageous and brave move by rank-and-file members of Labor and also unaffiliated unions, members of the Greens and others, to fight with the community to oppose Labor's agenda. And it was, in a large part, successful. And it was successful because the majority of the population is behind them. And that is what this motion goes to. It goes to the heart of those issues. And we know that when it comes to electricity in particular, that privatisation of electricity undermines the ability of the state to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from coal-fired energy. We know coal fires will have a future here in New South Wales, but what we need to do is look at how we transition to renewable energy, how we support jobs, not by privatising jobs and getting rid of people. And we think that there's an important role for state and the electricity provider to work cooperatively with households to reduce long-term growth in demand and to curtail the upward pressure on household energy bills and emissions. These are important points when it comes to this issue of privatisation. And the flexibility that you have in privatisation is very clear, especially in this time during big change in electricity generation and use in New South Wales. And it's important that we focus on not only the outcomes in terms of the revenue the government is looking at, but also the impact on communities, the impact on jobs, and the impact on the flexibility that privatisation excludes. It's also important, and this will be interesting when the government forges ahead with this, to see what type of return is generated. We know that there is not a great deal of risk-taking capital around, and it will be very interesting to see if the rivers of gold the government is expecting will actually be delivered. So I wanted to conclude my speech by supporting the member for Northern Tablelands, to recognise that a referendum is a powerful way to see whether the government has support. And of course the government won the last election. The former government was so incredibly hopeless that they were able to defeat the government, but not, I believe, with a strong support for privatisation. If it was put to a referendum, it would clearly fail. So I wanted to conclude by thanking all of those that have participated in the campaign in the community to make sure that important public utilities are kept in public hands. In particular, thank those workers. I know there's some members here from the USU in the gallery, their leadership, their organisers and their members, who have demonstrated such courage in terms of standing up not only to the Labor Party, but also taking that message to the broader community, and we Greens will continue to support you.
The member for Northern